already seeing member of the European Parliament from Lithuania, Juozas Olekas. So, dear Juozas Olekas, thank you for joining me today. As I am looking, probably we're gonna be discussing a little bit further, you and I, this important issue. And as the Commissioner mentioned in the opening remarks, rural innovation is a key for tackling the challenges for the digitalization, for the Green Deal goals. How do you see the potential of rural development, and do you see the potential for actually implementing innovation ecosystems in regions?
You're asking me? This is yours, Olga.
Yes.
Thank you very much, first of all, for inviting me to participate in this real very interesting and important event. As you know, I participate in different intergroups here in the Parliament discussing about the future of rural areas. By the way, I personally live in the rural areas in my own country, in my grandparents' house, and I very well know the situation. And from my point of view, I think it's very important 2 points: to have the population, to have the young generation in the rural areas, and to have the infrastructure and also the possibilities to develop the business or social life in this region. And from the real situation in Lithuania, it's very important that the population of rural areas. From 2008 till 2017, Lithuania has been largest decrease in population in European Union. We lost about 16% of population. But despite that, I'm very proud that in Lithuania we developed the infrastructure in the rural areas, and we have the good internet. About 78% in rural householders have internet access, and almost all of them are serviced with the broadband internet. That means that there are a lot of opportunities implementing the different projects from EU and national projects, and there's a good opportunity for young generation. But in our country, we have the more conservative problems. This means that we have some problems with the traditional or social infrastructure. After some reforms in our country, we have a shortage of schools and children care and medical facilities and so on. And this has created some tensions for young families to move from the cities to the countryside. And this is maybe specific case in our village. But by the way, this possibilities for young generation to introduce new technologies, circular or green economy, smart villages, and new waves of farming. This is a very good opportunity for young people, bringing that into our countryside. And I think that this is how we can move and to deal with these new technologies, innovations, and maybe the more cooperation in the countryside also would be very welcome for young farmers and the small and medium enterprises that have access to innovation and can get it to the countryside and more friendly climate environment, and in general to have the more acceptable for them places to live and work.
Yeah, well, in many cases, well, thank you for such a good remarks. I can only agree in that. And in many cases, rural areas are often seen as the places where there is no innovation, or there are big limits for the innovations. And Do you see such events, like, for example, as hackathons or maybe other initiatives, as possibility actually to bring or to talk more about the innovation, and maybe what kind of steps should be taken further? Because about the depopulation and the young people leaving the rural areas, these are the topics not only for Lithuania, but I've heard a lot in all over the Europe. These are the same problems. So how do you see, as European Parliament member, what steps should be taken in order to start implementing innovation ecosystems in regions?
Yeah, you know that it's very attractive. Many new technologies, for example, precise farming. It's needs a lot of new knowledges for, and this is very, I think, attractive for young generation. But on the other hand, I think we can support business and social programs that create jobs and development, new skills. Government, European Union can also play important roles supporting the development of these technologies. And I think that the projects like Copernic, for example, European projects, and some local projects can be implemented, and this would be indeed the new and good instrument for young farmers to start the job and life in the countryside, and this is, I think, this direct intervention. I think it's very important. How to bring research and development closer to the young generation in rural areas, and I think new technologies, it should be not only innovated but also acceptable, and new ways of social cooperation essential to achieve this, because it's sometimes quite very difficult maybe for the young generation to get enough resources for introduce this new technologies in the daily life. It needs some additional resources for them.
It's a very good point, as our Minister of Education mentioned that education also plays a very important part, and as you said, skilling, probably upskilling and reskilling, it's another thing, because if we are bringing technology innovation into rural areas, into the regions, probably we already need more people working in different sectors, but with the new technologies coming in, we're probably gonna need even more new educational programs, and this is, again, probably will not be done without the support of the funding, without extra ability to add more new programs, especially for the digitalization, Green Deal goals, and etc. And for example, I know that you already yourself are using some kind of technologies in the rural area for the farming. So could you tell a little bit more what kind of benefits do you see? Why, for example, you are using it? Why you decided to implement, for example, the technology in your farm?
Yeah, you know, this is very support my life, create the possibilities for me to know when I should be in the village or when I can be in the Brussels or Strasbourg, because I have the all information on my telephone, and I can see how the changes in going on. For example, I'm beekeeper, and I know the temperature of my hives. I know the weight of my hives. I think I know that I need to came and do some one on other procedures. This is really very important one, and I think it's just the beginning, because I have the possibilities to discuss with our colleagues in different formats here in the European Union and in the different other formats, and the exchange of this our expertise, our knowledges, how we can improve this possibilities and save some time and also money to develop our daily lives and develop our business.
Yeah, so as I am hearing, technology, innovation, it's not only the tool to bring back people to the rural areas or to the regions, but it's also a tool for freedom, which means that it's not necessary to stay in one place. For example, as you said, you can implement technology on your farm and then easily go and work and stay in Brussels or travel and see everything at your hand. So technology really brings the new understanding of the standard living in the rural area and could become one of the main tools for bringing youth back, but not making them stay in one place, because we see that a lot of young people love to travel and be everywhere. And I love your mentioning that collaboration is as it was mentioned by Commissioner in the opening speech, also collaboration also is one of the main foundations for the future implementation of ecosystems, innovational ecosystems. So thank you so much. Maybe just the last sentence, what could be even done more to start creating? You know, we talk a lot, but what kind of actions are needed?
Yeah,
please.
you know, on the European level, just would like to mention that next week in the Agri Committee, we will hold a vote on the vision for rural areas. It will be the European vision of how we can move forward. I think it's quite a good document at the beginning of our discussion. And we are calling in this document Commission and Member State to give the highest priority to the implementation of this plan, setting clear targets and goals of strong and more connected, resilient and prosperous rural areas by 2040. And we also support the development of Rural Pact, which needs to be involved into firm commitment and effective action plans with concrete objection, governance and monitoring system. And this long-term vision must involve into true rural strategy at the European level, and then through the national levels. I think it would be great that the vision and also the resources for the future of our development of our rural areas.
Thank you so much again, dear European Parliament member Juozas Olekas, for joining us today for such a lively discussion.